We'll talk to you in a little bit, Omar. Thank you for that. But yes, so Greg Williams is the interim head coach, which it's interesting to see. I want to see how he meshes with the offense, because he seems like he's perfect for a defensive room. But when you have a rookie quarterback and you have a lot of young personalities and young players in there, I just want to see how he does. We've seen him as a head coach before. We know what he is in this league and what he's been involved with in terms of controversies and the Bounty Gate thing. So it's an interesting move, I think.
I saw a little bit of that yesterday. Look, he served a suspension. He's moved on. That matter, as far as the league was resolved or was concerned, has been resolved. So now he gets his chance to show what he can do in an interim basis and maybe make a pitch for the long-term job. I don't know. I would think it would probably wind up being more of an offensive coach going forward as far as the head coach is concerned. We should see about that. I just look at it right now and say, okay, the Browns have had so much turnover. And you heard Jimmy Haslam talk about they didn't want to put up with internal discord. That was the message. That's why both guys got bounced, because you didn't want to have a winner. If Todd Haley had stuck around and be, oh, well, he won this power struggle, and now that sets it up for going forward. Oh, geez, you can kind of undermine everybody else. No, they want everybody working on the same page here. So they've got to get that going moving forward here, starting with the rest of the season.
I think it's interesting, too, that you have a GM that can finally hire a head coach in Cleveland. That has been an issue there for so long, where they hire a head coach and then a GM, and it never works out that way. You need guys to be on the same page from the top to the bottom. And then you have Hugh, who assembled this coaching staff that really just did not get along from the jump. So what does Dorsey have to do at this point to sort of prove that this was the right move, Dan?
I mean, you heard Mike say that you want to see what coach he brings in, because he definitely needs to have an offensive-minded coach who can help cultivate Baker Mayfield, because ultimately that's where we'll say he either did a great job or didn't do a great job. Anytime you spend a #1 overall draft pick on a guy, you would like to see him turn into a player. And I think Baker will, but when you have a defensive-minded coach, as all these other rookies have right now, they're struggling a little bit. When you have an offensive-minded coach, he can kind of cater to that particular player and really cultivate him, kind of what you saw Sean McVay do with Jared Goff going into year 2. As a rookie, Jared Goff, I thought he was the worst player in the National Football League.
It didn't look good.
At the quarterback position. He just looked scared. He didn't look comfortable. And some of that stuff you can't coach. And so to see Sean be able to coach and get that out of him, I think you need a young guy kind of, off of that Sean McVay kind of mold to get in there with a guy like Baker, and I think it'd be a good combination.
What Sean McVay was able to get out of Todd Gurley, too.
Yeah. I mean, he's a player.
Everybody,
you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, this is a show.
You guys know that I love movies. Is this Groundhog Day?
It is.
Same thing. Keep repeating itself.
I mean, the Browns continue to lease coaches, all right? And every 2 to 3 years, you turn your car, how many miles do I have on? Okay, I got to turn it back in. They just lease coaches, and I think...
And they go from one personality of a it's to another. Like, it swings from one side to the other.
This is eat, rave, sleep, repeat. I mean, it's the same thing. But I just... Both my former teams are struggling right now, all right? The Giants and the Browns. So I'm starting to think it's me a little bit. But I just want to take one moment.
You leaving.
I want to send a huge hug right now to Berea, Ohio, to all the Cleveland Browns fans out there, the Browns backers that continually wear their orange and brown. They're not the prettiest colors, but in October, they are rocking. All right, but you guys stay faithful to this team, and they're hurting right now. This team could have 4 or 5 wins right now. I mean, you think about the schedule. They lost by a field goal down in New Orleans. They lost by, they tied the Steelers. They should have beat them in week 1. They lose to the Oakland Raiders by 3 points. This is a better Browns team than we're giving them credit for right now. Their record does not reflect how much better this defense has been, and the numbers don't either. So it's a shame to see them going through this. You look at their rival in this division, and I say rival, it's pretty much one-sided, but the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 2 coaches since the Browns came back in '99. The consistency is how you breed championships, and until the Browns can get that from top to bottom, like you said, Dorsey's in there. I like Dorsey. I think this next coach they're going to bring in, he's going to be the guy, because you're not going to fool Dorsey. And he's not going to make a rash decision. But this Browns team is better. I mean, you can't draft at the top this long and not have talented players. So look at Baker. He's struggling with sacks right now, as rookie quarterbacks do. But this defense, they're legit. They're coming after you, and Greg Williams is leading the way with that.
Yeah, I like John Dorsey, but to me, still, I would have liked to see Hugh just get a little more time, because you did say... Because this team was bad and not having a win in, 2 years? And now, like you said, to be competitive, to be in games, to have picked the right guys, it seems like, in the draft. I didn't think they should have got Denzel Ward, but the more I watch Denzel Ward play, I'm like, man, this dude's a player.
Yeah, he's putting hands
He is
on
a
people.
player. And so I think they're doing the right things, but unless you, like you said, have that consistency there, it's just going to be the same.
It just didn't seem like
thing.
any of the players were buying into Hugh. Even when we watched Hard Knocks, it didn't seem like the coaches were buying into
Hugh's
Hugh.
a
I mean, if you got one
guy.
coach doing his own thing,
Right.
Hugh's a different guy, that's for sure.
Right.
It's like running through a running through a rap stop
We could spend
sign.
3 hours probably talking about the Browns, and I love that you said you sent that heartfelt
Yeah,
message
that was a
out to
good shout
Browns
out.
fans.
Browns fans,
Like, that's the